Welcome back to Two Dudes and a Cup.
Hello.
I'm Ryan.
I am Jason.
Are you for real, though?
What?
Are you for real, Jason? Just making sure.
Just sometimes.
Before we get started today, I do want to give a huge shout out to my friend Melissa from Bad Science Jokes. She commented and shared a post on Facebook regarding my shirt last week, which you can pick up at her website. We'll link her Instagram and
For sure. I'm
Facebook.
going to have to pick up one.
It's really cool. She's wife's best friend. I know her pretty well. She's a huge Instagram following over there at Bad Science Jokes, and
yeah, look her up.
she also has a social media management called Digibuzz. So you can check her out. I'll link all that stuff below. But anyway, today we're going to talk about but there's some big stuff that happened this week.
Yeah, some good stuff. A lot of people were freaking out.
Oh my!
2 weeks before?
God, people were social media, Twitter, Reddit, whatever, TikTok, all of it has been. I have been so fucking annoyed this week with people like, "Oh, Xbox is over. They're done making consoles. There's no such thing as exclusives anymore." And it was just.
And then they were like, "Oh, they're gonna give away Indiana Jones and Starfield."
Yeah,
right,
and that was the funny thing is like Starfield is confirmed, and so ultimately what happened is they had a not a showcase, but they went on their Xbox podcast to talk about like their exclusive games,
right,
and the state of everything that was going on, because a lot of the leaks, I'm assuming, came from the FTC stuff. All of that stuff had to be made public.
Yeah, they have to, yeah.
So Phil Spencer talked on that podcast, and he did mention that like they were trying to do this in December, but obviously everything exploded. That's what I gathered. I don't know if he's talking about last December or this December.
Yeah,
he might have been talking about last December, but everything that happened with the FTC.
I'm thinking it's probably last December. I don't see why not.
But yeah, they couldn't do it because of the stuff. With all that, them trying to pause the Activision merger. So they did say one thing I noticed the entire time before we dive in the details, up until the very end, Phil Spencer like avoided saying the name of the competitor consoles. He was like, "Well, we're gonna put them on other consoles." Like he and then near the end he was like, "Oh, on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation." It was, I don't know.
Well, he didn't want to bring their name in,
right?
Because it's Xbox, and you don't want to. You
don't want to get free advertising, but he did mention he did mention near the end of it. But I thought that was an interesting. And they did say that they're going to explain more. There's going to be more information. In June.
Yeah, June since we don't get E3 no more, COVID. But yeah, we should get a lot of good information on that, and a lot of actually some exciting things.
I think we're going to get probably more Activision updates, probably more stuff dropping to Game Pass. That's my guess. But so here's what's happening. Starfield, Indiana Jones, for sure. Those two games are confirmed not going to PlayStation.
For now,
I don't know if they will.
What games are you thinking is going to go? There's only 4.
They said 4, and that's the thing is they said 4, and they did not name the names of those 4.
I don't think it's going to be Forza. I don't think it's that.
No, because PlayStation has Gran Turismo.
Because they have Gran Turismo.
Unless they wanted to make it compete, but I don't think it's. I don't know what red tape there is for
tough.
them. I don't know what red tape or anything is for them to get their games on the PlayStation. I don't know what.
Well,
that
they
is.
can either throw Forza Motorsports or they can throw Forza Horizon. So they could throw Forza Horizon, the previous titles.
Maybe Horizon would make more sense because Gran Turismo is more of a simulator, and Horizon's more of an arcadey.
Yes. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm betting Horizon 4 and then Horizon 5 whenever it comes out.
So what they did say is they said that the games that they are that they're not moving. That was something they made very clear. They're adding to the other consoles. They are over a year old. And the reason they're making the decision.
So they are a year old?
They're
not multiple years old. They're just 1 year old.
I think he said they're over a year old.
So we can probably narrow it down, maybe.
I'm not going to go digging through all that.
Oh, I'm not either. I'm just saying.
But one thing that was
I'm sure somebody will.
interesting that he commented, and I took the quote down, he said the decision was based on the long-term health of Xbox in mind. And one thing that they did go into is saying that the reason that they made this decision to bring it to other consoles was to help grow their community.
Right. And it makes sense.
He did make a point at one point, Matt Booty, he was the president of gaming content and studios.
Mm-hmm.
He did make a point that games like Roblox and Fortnite, those are way bigger than any one platform.
Yeah.
And now that there's cross-play and all that stuff. And I think that's the point is like, because Phil Spencer also talked later on, you can make a decision in a business. You can either you have a finite number of your consumers, players, whatever you want to call them,
Right.
and you can find new ways to monetize them and get the most bang out of your buck with those specific, or you can find a way to grow your audience.
Right. And I get what they're
move to the other consoles.
Yeah, I mean they're going to grow it to where other people are like, okay, well these cool, these games are on Xbox. Maybe I like to see what they check out. So let me buy a console. So
Yeah.
or
And-
let me buy an S. Probably the S be the best bet to start off.
And one of the other podcasts I've listened to, X1 Bros, they've always said you just want them in your ecosystem.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
all.
totally
Just like Mac.
Yeah. What?
Just like Mac, you're in their ecosystem now.
I am in their ecosystem now, I guess. But no, I mean you
It's
don't
a
have to
beautiful
get
thing.
you don't have to get them to buy an Xbox. You
Yeah.
just need to get them to play games that get money to Xbox.
Well, I
Or
mean,
to
the main
Microsoft, rather.
seller, like everybody was worried about that they're going to stop making hardware and they're just going to focus on Game Pass to where they can just throw Game Pass on whatever console they want.
Yeah.
Which that I mean, I wouldn't be mad about that but I'm just glad they're still making hardware. That's a big plus. So that just tells everybody that Xbox is not going nowhere. They're still going to compete against PlayStation and Nintendo. Speaking of Nintendo, I just got a notification earlier today that more likely the Nintendo Switch Part 2 is now being postponed to first quarter of 2025
Because the rumor was it was supposed to come out
this year.
this year, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
They
think
probably did that because of PlayStation 5 or PS5 Pro, because that is supposed to drop later on this year.
Oh, okay. I know I think their Nintendo like Direct thing is coming up. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure. And
I saw an update to where they said that it's going to be pushed back till probably like January, February, March of 2025. First,
on the Switch, right? Yep.
Switch to, yeah.
The one thing that they also did say is that like you were kind of mentioning there, they're not done making consoles. They're not done making
Mm-mm.
hardware. They said that the next hardware iteration that they have is going to be the biggest leap in technology ever in the industry, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they worded that way because I hope they. Well, this is the biggest leap. I mean, I think every console generation is a big leap.
Yeah, I do know that hardware-wise, when the Series and PS5 came out, hardware-wise, the Series was way more
Right.
powerful. But again, when you're talking about the technology and the stuff that's available
Yeah.
today, upscaling all it, people are like, "Oh, well, this one upscales and this one does native." It's like it's just play your
Yeah,
fucking
I
game
mean,
and enjoy it.
The PS5 and the Series X, I mean, they're pretty much the same. I mean, there is, people did, dive in and see that, technically the Series X is a little bit more powerful, but I mean, they're going to have to do it now since PS5 Pro is coming out end of this year, so they need to throw something out. But they did say that they are releasing a hardware. They're going to announce it at the end of this year. Not like it's the next, generation console, but some type of hardware. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
and
think
I mean,
they're going to get into the handheld? It's really big right now, and it's going-
Microsoft
No,
or,
well,
or PlayStation.
well, PlayStation, their portal is actually getting better and better with updates, but handheld is like really big, as in like PC handhelds.
Oh, like the Steam Decks and stuff.
Steam Deck, Legion Go in the ROG Ally Z1 Extreme, and the Player One, and there's a lot of them.
For me, handheld is not a big deal for me. I have a Switch. I very rarely play it.
Because there's not exciting games on there, probably. That's why, because I had an OLED Switch. I mean, I still have an OLED Switch.
Full transparency, I love games like Animal Crossing. Like it's a stupid little. It's a very relaxing. Just it's a time.
Next.
What?
Next.
No, it consumes my time very well. Like I enjoy. Like I'm not stressing about it. And Pokemon. Those are really the only two times I use Nintendo for anything.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I'm happy for you. I mean, I can't say nothing. I'm enjoying Power World,
Yeah,
which that's a better version of Pokemon.
It's Pokemon. It's a different iteration.
I think it's great.
I think both are great. But anyway, although Power World does keep my attention longer than Pokemon.
Have you been playing it lately or no?
It's been about a week.
Yeah, they need to fix little things on it.
Yeah, I have been jumping in my.
If they can fix it to where it's running like the PC, that'd be great.
Yeah, and I mean I'm sure that's so easy.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's definitely not easier said than done. But I mean that's not our job. It's not our job to fix.
I mean
games.
now they got backup of Xbox, so I don't see why not.
But no, it's. But as far as like handhelds, like to me, it's just not like if I play a game on handheld, I usually like I'm sorry, when I play a game on Switch, if I'm going to be playing for an extended period of time, I'm going to be putting it on my dock. I don't really. It's hard for me to play for a long period of time.
I get you. I'm actually thinking about. I'm really looking at the Rogue Ally. Just something cool to try. I mean, it'd be kind of cool just to chill on the couch or in the bed and playing like, games that you're playing on your console.
For sure.
So.
Let me see here. Now, one thing they did say about the games that are going to be going to the other consoles, the reason that Phil Spencer said that he did not announce them or he was not going to make an announcement on that podcast is because the teams that are behind those games that are moving have plans to announce them, and he doesn't basically.
They just want to announce it their way.
I'm sure they may have trailers or.
I'm guaranteed there. I mean, of course, there's going to be like at least 2 that's going to be in June.
Yeah, I would assume it's going to be happening very quickly because other things that are happening quickly is we finally got our first Activision update since the merge, and we are getting Diablo 4 on Game Pass on March 28th.
Yep.
I
already have it, but it's great.
One thing, and they were very proud to say this, and I don't blame them. They have 34 million Game Pass members right now. Which that is 34 million players that will immediately have access to that game. I mean, if you didn't already buy it. But,
Game Pass is a good thing.
They did say that other Activision Blizzard, it's Activision Blizzard King, which is the mobile side of it, which is, if I would guess that the biggest reason for the purchase was King.
Yeah.
There's so much money in mobile gaming. Activision and Call of Duty obviously is a huge, let's grab that, obviously.
Yeah.
Honestly, the mobile gaming market, I think, is the big one. You have companies like
because everybody's on their cell phone.
Well, yeah, exactly, and you pay these little dink and dunk microtransactions.
I don't get into the mobile gaming.
You don't, and as somebody who has worked in there before, you don't, but plenty of people do, and that's what's important. Like I said, there is ridiculous amounts of money in the mobile gaming market, and it's because you have casual people who are non-gamers that are spending. And I'm not kidding you, incredible amounts of money on these.
Oh, I'll believe
games.
it. I'll believe
it. It's crazy how much. But I think I would say that deal, part of it was just the.
I'm sure because that's just extra money that they're getting off of that. They're guaranteed money off of that.
One thing Matt Booty did say during it, he said their core principles are for all their games.
You say Booty?
Matt Booty, that's his name.
I know. I'm just saying just the way you said it. Go ahead.
I mean, we're both also big man children, so it's a funny name.
It is.
It's Booty. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No offense. I mean, I'm sure Matt Booty is great. It's just, I saw that. I was like, oh, damn. But he also makes a lot more money than we do. So
I'm sure, but I guarantee he got picked on when he was younger.
I'm sure he doesn't care about that anymore.
I'm sure now he doesn't care about it, of course. He got money, so
exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, he said Matt Booty say that their core principles are for all of their games. Say all of the games will be on Xbox. They will come to Game Pass on day one. And that Game Pass will only be on Xbox, or will stay on Xbox is one of the iterations. But they basically, that kind of put to rest a lot of the people saying, oh, well, they're just going to move Game Pass to all these other consoles.
Yeah.
Now, when Game Pass first launched, it was Xbox Game Pass. Then they introduced, I think shortly after they introduced, maybe at the same time, but there was an Xbox Game Pass and a PC Game Pass. And then they just said, they dropped it. They said, it's just Game Pass.
Exactly.
Now, there are certain games that you can only play on PC or console, vice versa.
I mean, when I had that, I tested out, I bought a gaming laptop last week just to see if I get into it. But, yeah, I downloaded the Game Pass on there. And, I mean, it's just like, they have a little section for what runs on PC or whatever. So, I like how they...
And that was one thing they mentioned. So, and they did this a few years ago. They had It was called it's called X, and they still use it. It's called Play Anywhere. So if you buy a game that is also available on PC, you don't have to go buy it on PC. If you buy it through their marketplace,
Right.
so you don't have to go buy a game, and if you have a PC, you don't have to go buy it again.
Yeah, that's that's good. If you bought it on Xbox, you can play it on Xbox and
Exactly.
PC, vice versa. Yeah.
And I mean the same thing. The same concept works with cloud. So if you
Yeah.
buy it, if you have the ability to play
Right.
it and bring your progress over.
Because say if you got a Quest 2 or Quest 3, now Game Pass is on there,
Yeah.
and you can you can stream your games on it, which is really cool.
And the one thing that they did say that kind of part of what they mentioned in this is that if you by bringing the other consoles, cross save was a big deal. So they basically said like you don't have to. It almost seems like they're trying to end like the whole console war kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point of it now.
It really isn't. But
I'm done and over with it. That was back in what Xbox 360 days.
Right. And what he said is that like you can buy a game and not worry about your progress having to be restarted. So, I mean, if you purchase an Xbox, and it sounds like if you do decide to purchase it on PS5, you can still bring your progress over. Like
That'd be great.
You don't have to restart all of it and then play two separate.
Yeah,
games.
that's like if I don't know if I'm thinking about Destiny 2. Like if I want to go play on PlayStation 5, I don't think it's going. Yeah,
I think there might be a way,
or
but again,
something Destiny might have on their end. I don't know.
yeah, but I mean, it's just it's
I don't know.
a
Fuck that
hassle.
game.
It's
Yeah.
a hassle because if you are somebody who like us who has all the has both all the consoles and like to bounce between them here and there, if you do decide to get as a gift, have it with a buddy, whatever the case
Yeah.
is, you don't have to. You're not playing two separate games. They're not playing the same game two separate ways.
Right. Exactly.
Which kind of can get irritating. One thing I found interesting, and we've talked about this before about cloud gaming being the future. Phil Spencer did say that exclusive games are becoming smaller and smaller parts of the industry, which is one reason they're kind of doing this because they understand that exclusives aren't going to be.
Well, I think another reason why I think he's saying that because he knows that they cannot beat PlayStation 5 in that battle, and it's a fact.
I don't.
That's
fully
that's one of Xbox's biggest issues. They don't have good exclusive like they used to years ago.
Right, and I don't fully disagree with your statement. I mean, they still have like some games like Sea of Thieves, which are really good,
Oh yeah.
and I think that might be one of the ones that's going to PlayStation.
Oh yeah. I
mean,
think so.
It's just,
it has to because it's online. I
Yeah,
mean, you
it's-
want more players.
I mean, it's a ton of fun. But he said that they're
Never
becoming
played it.
smaller and smaller parts every year. Like
Yeah.
there's less and less, and even with PlayStation, like they're not.
No, I agree with
mean,
you. Now, like it's
'cause-
it's getting smaller and smaller. But I think another thing, Phil, he knows that they're not going to beat.
But to your point with like the PlayStation exclusives, I mean, Resistance was huge. Back on PS3 days, Resistance,
Yeah.
Fall of Man, and they had sequels. Killzone.
Man, I wish they bring back
the God
Killzone.
the God of Wars. All of those are their bread
Right.
and butter. I mean, and you can say Halo.
And Gran Turismo, yeah. I think Gran Turismo is one of the four. Not Gran Turismo. I'm sorry, Halo. I think Halo is one of the four.
It might be.
They have to in
I
order
could
to
give-
make it, with the multiplayer aspect. And I hear they're probably going to do a VR later down the future.
I give two shits about Halo right now.
Me too. That's why I don't have it installed
Yeah.
on my Xbox. But I'm thinking Halo might go. I hate to say that.
I mean, but again, that goes to the point of.
Halo's not their baby no more.
Well, no. My point is that doesn't matter.
Oh, I know,
people
yeah.
like there. I mean, I did see comments and stuff of people. I mean, I didn't know anybody personally. Like I talked to buddies that I play with on Xbox, and they're like, "Hey, how do you feel about Xbox games?" They're like, "So are you gonna finish catching that pal, or are we gonna do they're like they don't care. Nobody gives a shit."
Yeah.
But there were a lot of comments I saw and like oh, it's Xbox dead. This is why I switched. Or like it's just. Who gives a fuck what game console somebody's playing on anymore?
Yeah.
It really, really doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
And I mean, if you're playing and having fun with somebody, I remember when PUBG did crossplay, and I mean, it didn't kill the game.
No.
Like not for me.
I love playing against. I love crossplay because on Call of Duty, I love playing against PlayStation people because they're not that good at multiplayer. It's a fact. Sorry.
But I mean, it was just it's baffled me like why people are doing it. So they did say that they want to bring like I mentioned before, they do want to bring more of their game to more players. They're again expanding the audience. And then they also said, so Spencer said this: the focus in the last decade has been to find ways to grow their Xbox business, reach new players, and that's through like their xCloud, their PC, Play Anywhere stuff. The one thing, and this wasn't weird. I thought it was really interesting for him to make this specific point. He said that compatibility has been like the backwards compat has always been one of their tenets, like as their foundation of their consoles.
Yeah.
He continued on saying that like looking forward to their future hardware, and this is what he said: they want to make sure that they are going to respect investments looking forward to future hardware, making sure to respect investments that people have made in Xbox is fundamental. So he's basically saying that, hey, if you've bought a fuck ton of our games over the 360, Xbox One, Series, whatever, if you've bought these games, you're not going to lose out on them. Because that was one of the things that they had.
Well, you shouldn't.
Well, I think it was PlayStation or maybe an Xbox. There was a license that got lost for a bunch of shows. And I remember it wasn't really a big deal for the majority of like the market or whatever, but people had purchased episodes of shows digitally through the storefronts of whether it was Xbox or PlayStation. Again, Obviously wasn't that big of a story for me.
Obviously.
But they did say a lot of people were like, this is why you buy physical hardware, because the licenses ran up, which means even if you had purchased them, they're gone. Like you don't get to download them, you don't get to access that content anymore, regardless if you've paid money for it.
Right.
But it always goes to the point, even if you buy a physical copy of a game, and I've made this point to many people, and many people don't like it. If you buy a game, same thing with a movie or a CD. Kids, so there's these discs. You'll learn about it.
No,
they won't. but you buy physical like media. You don't own that media.
No.
You own the right to use it, which is why you can't then copy it and then sell it.
Right.
Because you don't own it.
Right.
You have the right to use it for your personal use, and like if somebody comes over, whatever the case is. But it's one thing that I dealt with working for one specific company and people getting banned. Well, all that stuff, I mean, there's terms of service. You can get all the nitty gritty, but
I mean,
people were upset about that. And just in today's day and age with everything digital, that's one thing. But I thought the point of him making, like, if you've bought stuff from us that is ours, that is backwards compatibility, you're going to keep it. And I thought that was a really interesting point to make, especially with the way that the ecosystem of media is today.
Right.
Like, you're not losing content if you're with us.
Right.
And I don't know. I thought that was kind of an interesting point that he...
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It makes sense. I mean, how you put it. So I'm really never thought about it. So to be honest with you.
Oh, plus I've had plenty of conversations like, no, you own it. Because what was it?
Because you don't really own it.
It was Gears of War, I believe. It was one of the Gears of War games. Obviously, people data mine games now.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing that upset people is that they got the game. Somebody did whatever they do to get information off of it, and they found out that a future planned DLC license or something was on the disc.
I've heard about that.
Wasn't accessible.
Right.
And people threw a fit. And I mean, I worked around a bunch of gamers who were livid. But that just kind of
that's just how it is.
I'd always been under the impression of like, you don't own that content. Like, you own the you've purchased, it's like buying a movie ticket. You can go watch it, you can go use it.
Right.
You don't own it though. And it was so funny to me. People were upset about that. But again, it just goes back to the point, like, if that upsets you enough, and if don't buy their content in the future, if it upset you that badly. But the biggest argument
there's
is
so many other things to worry about than something like that.
A lot of us were single, didn't have kids or lives really. I mean, this is when I was in my 20s.
What are you trying to say?
No, I wasn't making that point. I'm just saying, like we didn't have anything else to worry about. It was just
what
as
are you
long
trying
as
to say?
I wasn't making any statement.
Oh,
Realistically,
I mean, I'm single with no kids, so.
Well, you just said a little bit ago, I just bought a gaming laptop. I'm like, I love to do that.
But I did take it back.
Right.
Yeah, because of my old age, I got frustrated with changing everything. So, yeah.
Back in my day, computers weren't
Right.
this hard.
But I did hear about that. About there's like hidden license and stuff like that. That's on. I mean, honestly, you don't own it.
No,
You don't.
you own the right to use it, and I
Yeah.
think that's.
And I'm not going to get mad at that. They made the game. They can do what they want to do. It's whatever.
I mean, and like I said, if
I have a choice if I want to buy that DLC or not.
but then it goes. But then I also think, and here's just another thing I.
Another
thought
thing, I
about.
wish they make games like, for instance, Helldiver. They made that game. Everything's in there. You don't have to worry about, you know how they throw out new content and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Oh, down the road in 3 months we're gonna have a new content coming out. Blah blah blah. Just put it all in the game, like back in the day, PS1, PS2 days, PlayStation. I mean Xbox,
Well, to counter your point, that was
like a complete game. But I get it. That's
Right.
the way to do it, though, to make money, keep that game alive.
well, yeah. Then that was the point I was going to
Yeah,
make. Is it's
I
not,
get
it's
it.
not it's not just to. I mean, obviously, you want to make the most money you can, but it also, like you said, it allows you to keep the game
Game
moving.
up.
Look at Destiny. If Destiny Vanilla,
Destiny's
if
terrible.
well,
though.
no, what I'm saying, it wasn't always terrible.
Yeah, I know.
But what I'm saying is that if Destiny hadn't had the ability, or just decided, well, we're going to make the game and maybe fix bugs and stuff, and they didn't keep expanding on it,
Right. It would have been
wouldn't-
dead.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I
like,
no, I get it. I get it. I get what you're talking about.
But the thing, but the problem with like things like Destiny is that their expansions were paid and not like cheap.
They should be. No, they're not.
They were either
I-
full price or like $40.
I can clearly say, because I was at OG Destiny vanilla days and everything, and I stopped like almost a year ago, but I know I spent over $1,000 in the game DLC and everything.
And-
That's not even including the fucking emotes and shit.
And the one thing I'll say is, we're always talking about like companies getting the most bang for your buck. Here's the thing, and this is why like when people like look back at how much they spent, do you feel that let's just say it was an even $1,000 over the course of how many years? Do you think that was a fair trade off for the enjoyment that you got from the game?
I had a lot of good memories
Then
with my buddies.
yeah, and that's one thing. Like if
And I actually met new friends off
Right,
of Destiny.
right,
A
and-
lot,
and-
actually.
and what's always funny is people who complain about like the cost.
God, I
of,
sound pathetic.
Why?
No, I just met a lot of friends off a video game.
No, why is that
I
stupid?
mean, it's not. I'm just,
I mean, one of the guys that I still talk to him. I mean, we don't play games together, but I've made a friend out of him.
Oh yeah, I have
He's
a lot.
somebody I met in
Oh, yeah.
Destiny through my
Yeah.
brother-in-law.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of friends like I'm really close with that I met back in Modern Warfare 2 days, like the original Modern Warfare
Well,
2.
and here's the thing, and I think that's part of like this episode may go a weird direction here, but
as long as
that
you're not hitting on me, we're good.
yeah, well, that's off camera. But no, like there's
Take it
like
out
a
and
social stigma of like, but again, we also grew up in a time where stranger danger, strangers on the internet, that was a thing.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
there
oh,
were,
yeah.
I mean, and like not like they still don't exist. Like there are
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
fucking creeps out there.
A lot.
But as an adult, I mean, and I'm sure you've seen. There's been videos and stuff of people like going to their friend's wedding that they've never,
Oh,
they've
yeah.
never met in person or finally.
Oh,
meet
I
or-
actually, speaking of that, other day I was on TikTok, and this guy, he was just chilling on his couch, and his girlfriend or wife or whatever wanted to surprise him, and she flew down or whatever his best friend that he plays online with, and they've been playing for like maybe a decade, and they haven't met in person, and she flew him down. And he opened up the door, or he knocked and whatever, and he went to open up the door, and it was him, and he was in tears.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it.
yeah, I mean, again, and that's see that's the one thing is, I mean, obviously, news and social media is always so negative about everything.
Everything is
There's so
negative.
many good things out there, and that's one thing.
you
is
just don't see them.
You don't, yeah,
Yeah, because the negative outweighs the good,
Well,
and that's sad.
good doesn't sell.
No, it does not.
No, kindness
I hate
doesn't
to,
sell.
I hate to say that, but it doesn't.
But it's just, and it's interesting.
That's how shit of a world we're in.
But only we can change it.
Yep.
But going back to topic here, Phil Spencer actually did talk to I think it was on it was IGN about Helldivers 2 not being available on Xbox.
Because he really wants it.
Well, he said this
I
is
don't
what
think it's going to.
I honestly don't think it's going to, unless what the games that they bring to PlayStation, if they are hyper successful, and I mean like make a fuck ton of money very quickly, I think they might consider it. Because here's what Spencer said. He said, "I'm not sure." He said, "Not sure who it helps." I'm not going to say verbatim quote, so I didn't write it down here. He said, "Not sure who it helps by not being available at Xbox." He did mention that they, that he's mentioned we do the same thing. They don't release all their games, but he said that he does not expect other companies to follow suit with what they're doing.
Oh no,
which is kind of interesting because it's to me it doesn't sound like a huge gamble. I don't know how their business works. I don't know the ins and outs of the dollars and the concepts, everything, but I don't think it's going to hurt them.
I don't think it's going. I mean, they've already been hurt. Like back in the day when they made the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. I mean, every time they made it, they were losing money.
Well, that's all consoles. Hardware itself.
Most of the time, yes.
Most of it, like, but
I
think
PlayStation is a little bit better though.
I think when PS3 and Xbox, I could have my number skewed here because the original PlayStation sold for $600 or $700.
I think so. It's a long time.
But it was like it was over. I think it was $1,200 to produce. So they're taking a bath on the hardware because they made so much money. But you make so much money in.
But what's saving
software.
Xbox is Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, like 34 million people,
and plus all the damn studios they're buying up.
Right.
So, I get it. So, yeah, I'll be cool. Hell, dollars came to Xbox, so I can have some of my Xbox friends play. But just buy a PlayStation.
But it's an interesting strategy because PlayStation, as far as I can tell from what I've done, as far as I can tell, PlayStation made the move to Xbox first with MLB The Show. Yep. That was a PlayStation only exclusive.
Dude, I love that game.
And now it's Game Pass.
It's Game Pass day one, just like the new one that's coming out next month.
Yeah,
I'm down. I mean, I'm going to download it. I love MLB. It's fun.
I played the show. I actually played quite a bit of the show.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just an interesting concept because.
But PlayStation was I think they were the first to do that.
Because I mean, it still shows a PlayStation logo on their logo screen.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I think I remember hearing that the studio that makes it was.
I wonder how much Microsoft is paying PlayStation for that.
I don't know that they
because Xbox does not have a MLB game. The only MLB games they have are those little.
No, so I remember. So MLB, I think, made the deal either with PlayStation or with the studio that makes it. I think MLB.
Oh, MLB
exclusivities thing was like, I think MLB looks and was like, well, we have a whole nother console we can monetize here.
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
And in fairness, as you and I, who both enjoy sports, one sport on a very unhealthy level,
go Patriots.
Baseball and basketball are. I mean, the NFL is way outweighed everything. The
NFL is always up here with me. I do enjoy playing. MLB. I don't enjoy watching it on TV.
That's the point.
But I do enjoy going in person and watching it.
Oh, yeah,
it's great. But I get you. It's just something about NFL is just the team. It's a team. It's just so exciting.
Well, because and like I said, and this is what I'm saying. We've enjoyed
I'm
it
just
on
glad
unhealthy
you're
level.
on my high when my team was winning Super Bowls left and right.
Yes, he's a Patriots fan. I'm a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
My team is the villain of the league now. So it's a
good feeling.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Now, I do think, but going back to what I was saying with the MLB, I think MLB, like I said, MLB and NBA ratings have been dropped. Like, it's not a secret.
Oh, it's definitely NBA.
They've been dropping drastically for years, and it's just
MLB. I think MLB is a little bit better than NBA.
I agree with the point on just that. I just don't. It goes down what I enjoy playing. Like if I had to pick, if I had to pick, you can be just okay at any sport. Football first for me, then baseball. I just don't like basketball, and I will say I like basketball a lot more than I like soccer, the most popular sport in the world.
I do like watching soccer. I tell you this though, I mean I'm like that football and baseball, but now back when I was younger in the 90s, football and basketball, because I just love like that era was the good time when basketball was great.
Yeah.
When you had Jordan, you had Kobe, Shaq, all those guys. That's now it's just a sissy league.
Well, not only that. I mean, and we'll
To me, it
we'll,
is.
we'll move on from this topic here.
Yeah, we can talk.
shortly.
We can ramble about sports. Maybe
basketball
Yeah.
is very politically driven.
too much for me.
Way too much.
Too much for me.
So one thing, going back to, like I said, with MLB making that move, MLB the Show, and I think MLB forced that because they wanted to get it, because again they're trying, all these sports leagues are trying to constantly grow their audiences, and I think that was a big deal
Right.
for them to.
Speaking of the sports, did you see what's they're gonna show the gameplay in May, and it comes out this year
For what?
for all consoles. NCAA football, baby.
I'm not excited for that.
Why? You don't even play. Hey,
I played NCAA, one of them, because it was when I was in middle school.
why you don't like it?
Because I don't like watching college football.
Oh, you don't like what? Oh, you're not big into college football.
Mm-mm. I just my biggest thing is I don't understand.
I'm more pro,
Mhm.
but I really enjoy watching college ball too.
The only time I will say I enjoyed watching college ball was the Oregon Colorado game where Oregon just embarrassed the piss out of Dion.
Yeah, that was bad. But yeah, I get you.
But I mean, that's what drove me into it. Like I was like, oh, cool, because I know who Deion Sanders is.
Mm-hmm.
But there isn't enough. I don't understand a lot of the rivalries. I don't understand the concept. Like I don't understand the overtime rules at all.
Yeah, I'm starting to get, like, the past couple of years I've been getting into college ball more and more. I've always been just pro only, but I'm starting to get more and more. But I mean, no matter what, I'm going to be pro.
I'm starting to pay a little bit more attention, and that's only because
Right.
But again, this is also one of the benefits of social media. I know who people are now.
Right.
I can tell you right now, when Mahomes got drafted, I didn't know a thing about him. Now I know the number one pick is going to be Caleb Williams. I know Drake May is in there. I know Bo Nix. I don't know any of them personally.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
As wide receiver. But I'm saying
I hope we get him.
I know who they are.
Right, because of social media
Because
and
of
everything. Yeah.
But I just, like I said, college. I understand why people love college football, and I understand why NCAA was a big deal for them to get to come back. The reason it was gone was because they were using player likenesses in the game, and they weren't paying any of them.
Oh, I know.
Because they were college athletes,
Yeah,
and they
but
don't.
now
just,
the NL.
and they name
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so NIL, just for people who don't know. They used to use the likenesses of college players, and they didn't pay them because they weren't professionals. So they got away with it for a long time, even though, let's be honest, college players have been getting paid forever.
Oh, I'm sure. Under
Now
the
it's
table.
legal. Now they've passed what's called name, image, and likeness, and that allows college players to get paid for uses of their thing. They can do because college players were also used in like sponsorships for advertisements and not getting.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of college players that are making more than some guys in the pros.
Yeah, especially
So-
like the rookies.
Oh yeah.
But so because they weren't getting paid, it killed NCAA football,
Yeah.
the game, and like they weren't allowed to do it at all. There've been some, I think Doug Flutie had one.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a bunch of other like
Yeah.
football games besides Madden.
Right.
They're all awful.
And that's what bothers me. Like I was talking to a buddy about it. Like, Madden, I used to love it, but they don't have no competition, so there's really no.
There's no reason for them to innovate.
Yeah, exactly. So I really wish 2K comes back, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. But I was talking about this. This actually might be a good thing that NCAA is coming back for Madden. So yeah, of course EA makes NCAA football and Madden, but I'm sure there's two different teams working on it. So it'd be kind of cool they actually have some kind of competition rivalry. Who can innovate, who can do more, who can sell more, and whose game runs better, blah, blah, blah. So hopefully that might help a little bit.
But they're both being made by EA.
I know, but there's might be two different teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a team focusing just for college, and there's a team that's focusing for the NFL.
I think that's just where
That might be like some friendly and rival.
And I think, like I said, like for example, MLB The Show. I mean, you could argue that there's no competition for that game, and
But it's still a great game.
it's a good game.
Yeah.
But again, they have a reason to make it good. But when you get with like Madden has been lazy.
So lazy.
I remember when I remember there was a year that there were like tokens on your your players.
Yeah.
One was like a bull that was like your bull rush guy, the guy that was a good running back.
Yeah.
Or bulldozers, or they had just like there were all these little tokens to like differentiate the players, so they're special, and that evolved into other things throughout the years. But they kept changing things up to make it like look fresh.
Right.
Now it's the same fucking game every year.
Yeah.
They could literally, I think if any game should go to game as a service, I think it's Madden.
Yeah.
I think Madden has the best ability to be like, hey, buy our game once, pay for the updates as they come through, whatever, or you.
They should.
Every year, it's another, and now that games are $70, it's a $70 roster
But
update.
you know what? That's a good thing. I have Game Pass because they can fix all the kinks and bugs throughout the NFL season. And look what happened. 2 weeks ago, Madden, the newest Madden's on Game Pass now.
Yeah.
Download for free.
Yeah, and that's
And I'm playing it.
yeah. I mean, and honestly, I know I downloaded it, but that's what it was for me. Is like I don't. There's just so much football going on for me that I don't typically touch Madden, and I also don't like to play Madden during the regular season because I think that anything I do by playing as my team can affect my team, and I don't know why. It's one of those super stupid superstitions.
I'm not going to hate on you because I had someone with the Patriots. So there's sometimes like I'll walk away and I'll just turn the game off.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this game, they're just going to play better without me watching.
Yeah.
So I'll go and not watch it, and then I get the updates. Oh, we won.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get it.
Yeah, no, during the Super Bowl, I stood in a specific place and I moved at one point, and I think it was Mahomes threw the interception, so I went right back to my spot, and I
Right.
stood there the rest of the game.
Oh, I trust me. I get it. I remember one Super Bowl when my Patriots was in the Super Bowl, and I got so excited, I jumped up and I punched the ceiling. We won though.
Hey,
It was great. But I think the best comeback, we all know what the best comeback was.
28-3.
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, as much as I despise the Patriots, that's still great.
Yeah.
Great. memory.
But what I was gonna say. So what games are you playing right now?
Right now,
What games are you gonna be playing tonight?
tonight I'm playing Helldivers 2 because
Oh, yeah.
Jason is halvesing the Helldivers for me.
Yeah, we're gonna save democracy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Are
great.
we fighting bugs or robots first?
Right now we've been fighting the Terminators.
Okay, all right. I think it's better to start with them because I know that's the losingest side of the galaxy.
Yeah, but I would love to take you on the bug side because it's a pain in the ass.
But no, I've been playing. I've been kind of bouncing between. It honestly depends on when somebody's on. I've been playing Power World, obviously.
Same. Just
I
enjoying
also
it.
I was going through my game library and I found out. Do you remember when Xbox did games with gold?
Yes.
I had Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and
Me
I
too.
never played it. They had a Ubisoft sale, and they had the Jack the Ripper DLC.
Oh,
and I
so-
always knew. I was always told Syndicate was good,
It is good.
and because I didn't know like bounce between the twins how that would work. I've been having a hell of a time with it. I'm most of the way done with it, and then once I'm done with it, I'm gonna play the Jack the Ripper DLC because I got it for like $10.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's a good game. So I was gonna say definitely do not buy Skull and Bones if you want to play a game.
God,
Get Assassin's Creed,
Black Flag.
or Sea of Thieves.
yeah. Honestly,
God, it's so bad.
I
I'm
don't
glad
know,
I
like,
didn't purchase
it was
that.
the same company that made Black Flag.
I know.
How do you fuck it up?
And there was a guy on TikTok. He side by side, Skull and Bones and Black Flag. Black Flag looks way better than Skull and
And it
Bones.
was made a decade ago.
I know, and it looks better. And plus, the great thing, I mean, he did it. He anchored onto a ship. You see him zip up, go and stab some people and stole their ship. And
I mean, I get maybe not using the Assassin's Creed. I get that, but what
you
baffles
can't
me,
get off
you
your
can't,
shit.
You can't swim. You can't like there's
You
no
die
there's no,
when
there's
you
no
swim.
hand to hand. Yeah, there's no hand to hand combat.
No.
like it's a pirate game.
you can't even like if you go to an island and you chop wood, you're just still on the boat and you're just chopping wood. So, because Ubisoft is defending this game, the owner, and he's saying this game is worth $70. He announced. I think IGN somebody posted about it that. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm okay. I'm not gonna say it's like it's not. It's I don't think it's from what I've seen. It doesn't look like it's the worst game ever made. But again, it's the same studio that made Black Flag. Why not just use a lot of not necessarily the resources from back then, but why not just make something not necessarily
Not clean copy and paste, but
right? But you update it. You make you make changes.
Like, okay, they did this, but we can do this, but make it even better.
Yeah, like or you change the way that the combat system is because
Yeah.
you're not an assassin. But oh my god.
Yeah, I'm glad I knew. Me and my buddies were going to purchase it, and we're glad we didn't. And it really thanks to Helldivers. Because once Helldivers come out, we didn't even focus on that. And then when the reviews came out for Skull and Bones, then we're just good. So,
Oh, hey, you want to go see Madam Web with me this weekend?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Very similar to
I mean,
Skull
I
and
would go
Bones.
to a laugh.
Yeah.
But probably wait till Disney. I don't even know if Disney Plus is going to add it. That's that
Because
bad.
It's a Sony movie. as they mean.
Yeah, that's right.
It just it
God.
baffles me. It baffles me. People like so, and I'm tying this in because I've been watching Halo season 2. Oh, I don't know why I'm punishing myself by watching. The first episode was fucking garbage. There were some cool scenes, especially like the I think the 2 battle scenes we got.
Yeah, and I'm a huge Halo fan, and I haven't seen it yet, but you just make me more and more not. And plus, when I hear about Halo 2, the guy that plays, I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but the guy that plays the Master Chief, he's defending it's better for me to have my helmet off. No.
So, well, hold on. And I had this argument with my brother. I don't mind the helmet coming off for this reason. When you're playing the game, you're inside the helmet. The face doesn't matter. So when he's talking, when he's conveying emotions, you're living through him.
I get that.
Let me finish. You're living through him. You're experiencing what he's experienced. Not the past trauma. That's a whole different thing. But like what's happening in real time in the game, you are going through
I
it
know.
too.
Yes.
In the show, and this was I don't know if I don't think it's the same director. It might be. I could be wrong. There was an HBO show. I think it was HBO. It was a show called Chernobyl about the Chernobyl disaster.
Mm-hmm.
One thing the director said it was very hard to convey emotions through a mask, and that is something that is hard to do.
I get that.
It's
I
not
get
impossible. It's hard to
And
do.
I like that actor. He's actually a good actor.
He's actually the acting is not the problem with
These,
it.
he was awesome. Yeah.
The problem I have with it is that the show, and they did a boot camp for Halo. They didn't play the games. They didn't read the books.
I heard.
And you don't have to make like you said earlier.
Sounds like
you don't have,
Marvel.
You don't have to. But here's the thing: Marvel did it well at the beginning.
At
They
the
didn't-
beginning, but not
Yeah,
now.
Not now. But they didn't follow the books to a T. They didn't follow Marvel didn't follow the
Well,
comic
yeah,
book to
we
a
all
T.
know that, but it still was great.
Tony Stark in the comics, alcoholism is a huge thing. Like he struggles with that in the comics.
I think he had that in real life too, right?
Well, RDJ did. Robert Downey Jr. He had addiction problems.
Right.
But they didn't show that in the movies because they can still convey a struggling character, and they humanized him more, like with the PTSD and stuff.
Right.
With Halo, what they don't do enough of, in my opinion, is they don't call back to the source material enough.
No, I get you.
Like they don't. I mean, you don't have to have a bold. Like one of the first opening scenes for season 2. Actually, the opening scene was pretty cool. Chief goes up. He encounters a group of elites. They all have swords. One of them rushes him. He has a shotgun. He falls back as they're charging him. And if you've played Halo, when you shoot somebody charging you with a sword, it's called a bull shoot.
So did they? I guarantee they didn't implement the BXR, right? You played Halo, right? Halo 2 BXR.
The battle rifle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a thing to where you do to where you shoot and you hit.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean they don't show that, but the thing is like they can
It's
do
very popular.
that,
Yeah.
but they don't. They don't call enough. They don't call back enough. Like they don't name drop. It's very much a. And what they did in the first season is they had a human named McKee who was kidnapped as a child by the Covenant and raised by the Covenant. Now, I understand the concept was to try to help you understand the difference between human but you can. There were so many better ways. Like just make like if you read the Fall of Reach, or even the first game in Reach, you don't encounter any aliens until like that's where like the first encounter happened.
I'm not gonna watch it.
But they don't like you can make the Covenant like this boogeyman,
Right.
that citizens, but like everybody knows who they
Are
are.
the flood in there?
Not yet.
They're heading to it probably,
I don't know.
or probably the end of this season.
Maybe.
They have to. It's part
I
of the
will
story.
say the episode 3 of season 2 so far was the best episode. It was a little bit more, but they sideline Chief as Master Chief. It's more of him out of the suit and like his like struggles through what he's going through.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that.
Thank you. That's
I
the
just
biggest
want to
thing.
see him beat some ass and save.
there are ways to do it, but yeah, none of it's.
Does he have romance
in the first season?
Oh God, are you serious?
It's super weird.
Romance with somebody or
no, with the woman who got kidnapped by.
So not Cortana.
Cortana's in his head at the time.
Oh my God. I'm not gonna watch it.
It's set up really weird. Yeah, the first season is really bad. But I will say, again, there's nothing wrong with the acting. The cinematography for this season.
It looks good. I did see like a clip of him finding the elites, and I was like, man, that looks badass.
If they did more of it, if they honored the source material, but like their whole thing is like they're trying to make their own show, and you really don't need to.
I don't understand why they do that. That takes away from how we remember it, and people don't care about that. They don't want.
Because here's the way I looked at it, and I had this conversation before. I grew up with Halo. You grew up with Halo. People like parents, grandparents, whatever, who like movies, who never play, or if you have an uncle or somebody who never played games but likes movies, you can share something with that. So you like Halo enough to explain it.
Yeah.
You can watch it, be like, hey, this is really good. Let me go watch it with my wife, my girlfriend, my kids, my uncle, my mom, whatever. Watch it with them and then have them enjoy it. And you can kind of explain what it but instead they're like, well, we're going to just make a show and separate it.
And
like,
do what we want.
That's the problem I have with like The Last of Us. It was that was the best video game adaptation of anything I've ever seen. They call back to the source. Basically, it's somewhat a reshoot of the game. They have a lot of flashbacks, and it doesn't take away. They will usually have one scene in each episode for the first season.
Yeah,
that was basically pulled straight from the game.
Right. Just don't tell me. I still haven't watched
No,
it.
I'm not.
Right.
But like they'll grab a scene like from the game and one episode and put it.
Well,
but there's other stuff that happens.
What you're trying to say is they put kind of what they want, but they still bring the story of the video game.
Yes, but and there are different different
the
things.
The game started from a video game. I mean, the TV show started from a
video
game.
Yes, Last of Us was a.
So keep it.
Yeah,
I get you.
You can do a lot with a video game adaptation. You just have to honor the show or honor the source material. Like Marvel did it really well. Like I said at the beginning, they didn't pull straight from the comics, and they didn't pull but they would have scenes that they pulled. Marvel Civil War, the Civil War in the comics. The whole concept in the comics was wildly different than it was in the movies.
And we all know that.
But they would mirror scenes. Like
exactly.
when Iron Man and Cap fought.
What you're trying to say is they're not doing that in Halo.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
And I think Madam Web did the same. I think it suffered the same thing because I think they were told not to read the comics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They did. They were told that. Yeah, because they confirmed it.
Why not?
I don't know. That's why the movie is terrible right now.
It is
the worst Marvel movie ever made.
I don't have a problem.
Internals is better.
That was bad.
But Internals is better than that. And I haven't even seen Madam Web. All these guys that I follow on TikTok that, they go to reviews and everything, and I kind of trust them and everything. As in, yeah, they laugh. It's bad. God.
I don't have problems with directors or actors or whatever. I don't have a problem with them doing their own interpretations. Art is subjective. That's one thing I fully agree with. But if you're going to make something,
please stay
with
true.
the Halo, if you're going to post Halo on it and say it's based on the game series, that was one thing that my wife pointed out the other day. We watched the second episode together, and it said based on the Halo video game series. And I was like, okay, I have no problem with that little thing if they can put in big, bold, underscored, italicized letters loosely based on the video game series.
You know what I hope? I hope somebody counters this and make a TV show of Halo ODST and keep it to the game. That would be amazing.
They have fucking clips about that.
Do they?
So it was the marketing for I think it was 3 ODST, yeah. It was originally it was called Recon.
Right.
They had live action.
They
scenes.
had a. Oh,
yeah.
Really?
I think Neil Blomkamp did it. I think. Let me pull that up here. Neil Blomkamp. 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 I don't know. He's South African, and I'm probably butchering his name. Sorry, Neil.
Just call him Neil.
Halo. Yeah, he had some short films, which was like a trial. It's called Landfall. It's actually really good. But they had some other scenes that were done
Yeah.
like with real people. Even Reach, I think some of the Reach marketing had real live action.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but no, I mean, it's just there are things that have been done better as Halo, and the Halo show would probably be really good if it wasn't based on Halo. If it was something else entirely, if it was its own thing, and you made it like the discount version of Super Soldiers or whatever, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. But if you're gonna put the fucking Halo logo on it and stamp it, and brand it in there, keep it close.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Or tell a different story.
I get you.
So.
I think you just need to calm down.
Maybe
that should be our thing.
Don't talk about Halo.
Or call it quits for tonight.
Jason makes me so angry.
Yeah.
But
at least you suffered through it, and I don't have to waste my time.
Yeah. If it gets good, I'll tell you. I don't think it's going to.
I tell you, show what you need to watch to make you feel better about yourself.
If you say Suits again, I'll punch you in the throat.
No.
Okay.
You got Peacock?
Yes.
Ted?
I've already seen it.
Huh?
I already watched first season.
It's great, isn't it?
It's so good.
Great.
So funny. It's really like a live action Family Guy.
Yeah.
It really
Absolutely.
is. And because it's live action and Peacock and they can rate it a little bit higher, it's a little bit dirtier, I guess you could say.
And
but
it
is funny.
It's great.
The scene where or the episode where Ted goes to the Halloween party.
That was so great.
It was one of the best episodes.
And that guy wearing a teddy bear.
If you have Peacock, watch.
It's recommended.
If you
don't watch it with your kids though.
No. But yeah, no. If you like Family Guy and you have Peacock, give Ted a watch. It's hilarious.
It's good. Well,
so that's all I really got for today.
Yeah.
But again, like, comment, subscribe, or do what you want. We're not your parents. We can't really tell you what to do.
No, do what you want. Well, we're gonna try to pump out more videos. I know we've been,
football's over.
Football's over, so I think we'll be able to try to post one like every week or maybe every 2 weeks.
Probably every 2 weeks.
I think every 2 weeks, yeah. So,
but until next time or something amazing happens, thanks for watching, the whole 4 of you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
and see you next time.
Yeah, hey, cut it out. No?
You're weird.